Thank you for joining us. This week we're looking at goals. Now when we last looked at goals we spoke to Elias and the response I've had has been superb. So we're going to see another business and we're going to see what effect goals have had on their success. This business is quite unique. It's Integrity Business Solutions, but they base the whole business model on a goal or a goal tree. We'll get to that when we get there. We're about to go in and see Peter. Hi, thank you for joining us. Today we're looking at goals. We're joined today by Peter Venables, and Peter is going to explain to us how important goals were in building his business. Peter, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Our business is called Integrity Business College. We're a private RTO. We work with areas such as Diploma of Business Management, Diploma of IT Information Technology. We're we're part of the Microsoft Office program suppliers, so we're what's called a Microsoft IT Academy, and we do a lot of international qualifications, etc. Do a bit of retail management up to the Diploma of Retail Management, and we have offices in Adelaide as well as obviously here in our Eastern office in Melbourne, and we basically venture pretty well all around Australia, and we have affiliates around Australia as such.
That's cool. Now we're coming because you built an incredibly strong business based on goals.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Well, I suppose things about goals is that most people need to have they don't normally set goals. They wait till there's a reason to set goals. And I never knew much about setting goals until a long time ago, about 20 years ago. We, as a very smart I thought I was a very smart entrepreneur, I went broke. Which was a learning lesson for us in itself. So I had to reinvent myself, had to relook at ourselves. I had 4 children at the time and life got pretty serious. So from that point of view, one of the things I thought about was, where am I? How did I actually get to this position in the first place? I don't ever want to come back to this role. I don't want to be in this position again. Let's set some pure goals and objectives which are true to me and also to my wife and to my family, and let's see what we can achieve and try again. So basically back to the old drawing board.
And you had a key word that you based these goals on.
Sure. Well, and it's probably been, it's interesting. Integrity was a word that was really important to us as a business. It's sometimes in life I'm not quite sure what integrity means. It's obviously specifically people have their own views what that means. But to us and to me personally, it was something very important. So I thought, well, when we're thinking about starting a training business, what a better name than to call it Integrity. So we initially started with a company called Integrity Training Solutions, which was a training arm. I started as a contractor. Basically back then, because I was struggling and had to feed the kids, I was doing all contract work, and it just grew, and it was just interesting how people aligned themselves to us.
So what part did goals have to achieving that?
Well, I think about a goal is it's more or less about what do you want to achieve when you retire, or more importantly, when you're on an old deathbed. And I sort of thought, well, one of my main goals was I could live a reasonable sort of life and make some money, of course, and pay the bills, and do it with integrity. So by putting integrity as my main goal, everything else seemed to flow from that.
Okay. So in establishing the business,
yep.
Businesses have lots of flash terms. They have goals, and they have mission statements and vision statements and all of this stuff. But can we sort of talk about those, certainly, but can we just bring it back to determining what it is you want to achieve and how that leveraged you into success and how important it was, just generally how goals drove the business, because in our conversations we know that that's the case.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that's actually one of the things that we do a lot is small business training consultancy. So I'm actually turning the other way around. I'm usually sitting with other employers and asking those same questions. To answer your question specifically, what a goal does is gives you focus. Small businesses, the medium businesses, they lose focus of what they're trying to achieve, what they mean, what their central reasoning for being in business was, and that's when problems start to sneak in. A goal gives you focus, and if you continue to remind yourself about what you're there for and the reasons you're there for, and stay focused, and work hard, of course, and all those other things that come involved, it keeps you back on track.
Yeah, I must have been in my role as a financial advisor, I've come across lots of businesses
Sure.
that open the door at 9 and shut it at 5.
Sure. Yeah.
And they go home and say, I had a good day today, or I didn't have a good day
Sure.
today. It's almost as if they seem to be powerless.
Yes.
And we find that with individuals, which of course why we're doing this section, because we hope that the viewers will say, yeah, look, I resonate with this and I need to make goals for myself.
Sure.
What you said is that when you have a goal, you tend to attract the right outcomes. Can you?
Well, I think there's two things you were saying there. One is about people going home and saying that they're being driven by the business, when in reality, if what you should be doing is driving the business.
Yes.
And that, of course, is what goals does, is it refocuses you. And it's amazing in business, specifically when you have a lot of other stakeholders involved, how the influence of them can actually start to drive your business. And before you know it, you're actually, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, is that you go home thinking, well, I've made that one happy, I made that person happy, I'm achieving this for someone, but you never actually stop and say, what am I achieving for myself?
Yes, that's quite important.
And that's exceptionally important. And by having those set goals and writing them down, and by bringing it out and having your ongoing meetings, we have an advisory board in our business, so every month we meet, and part of that advisory board is we go through every specific goal every month. So we don't try to do a whole business plan, but we try and cut pieces as we go through. So throughout the year, we're continually reassessing our goals, and it keeps you focused. And we make decisions based on that. We make decisions based on who we work with, based on our goals. So we have in our goals, as I said, integrity is a very part of it. Our way we live, the way our culture of the business, our own personal goals, they all need to be thought about before you make any serious decisions.
And do you find that when you focus on a goal, things come to you?
Yeah, well, it's just, and of course it depends on if it's the right goal, of course.
Yeah.
Stepping back from all that and going through that scenario, but if you find if you have got the right goal and you're passionate about it and you focus on it, it seems to happen. Things happen. It's not always, the good guy doesn't always win, but certainly from my experience, if you're tough enough and committed enough and have the right people around you, your goals can be achieved. And it's a great feeling when you actually achieve, and then when you surpass them, it's even better.
Yes. No, you've got a very unique thing in your business, and we're sitting in front of it. Can you tell us about the goal tree?
Oh, the tree. Well, this is our integrity tree. I asked one of my staff members about four years ago. We were trying to work out who we are and obviously explore what integrity is and what our culture is. And I said, she was a painter, and I said, well, just do something for us. So I didn't give her any sort of direction. And this is what she came up with, and I just thought it was so appropriate. This is obviously our integrity tree. We have two businesses. We have what's called Integrity Training Solutions, which is something my wife and I keep for ourselves. It's basically who we started from. And then we have another business, which is Integrity Business College, which is what we're talking about. And Integrity Business College is part of our journey. And Integrity Training Solutions basically has all these words there, and it talks about what people want in life, which is really important to us. And it talks about having aspiring, having skills, experiences, individuality, having confidence in yourself. They're the sort of things that it is our goal. It all comes back to the word integrity. So as we move forward, it drops off seeds. And Integrity Business College, which is what we're talking about today, is one of those seeds. And this business has grown using that same goal and culture of integrity. And the people who come to us, all our students, they understand that when they come here, they're going to come to a very comfortable, fulfilling environment where they're going to be able to learn, and we care about what they do. So from there, we have one growth. As we move forward, there'll be other objectives, because obviously still young.
So you're going to end up with a forest?
We'll end up with a forest.
Yeah,
well, who knows? I don't care if it's 2 trees, 3 trees, as long as it follows our goal of integrity.
No worries. Look, thank you very much for sharing with us, Peter.
My pleasure.
It's been really good. Thank you once again for your time.
No problem.
What a superb lesson we've got from Peter today. I've been nagging for one whole series that you must have goals. And I've been emphasising how important goals are. And yet here we have a business which has been built from adversity. I mean, there was a business failure, and Peter went back and examined what he felt was important in business. I hadn't asked Peter, and I won't, but his business might have failed because of the lack of integrity with other people who he was dealing with. But nevertheless, the point here is that Peter has built a successful business understanding that if you know what you want, you can hope to achieve it. But if you don't know what you want, you get what you're given. If you've yet to do your goals, let's hope that Peter's inspired you to go and start writing. You know my view about 100 goals, but hey, if you do 50, no big deal. It's just that you might have missed one that's important. If you only do 20, it's better than having none. If you do 2, who cares? Just write something down. We'll see you after the break.